Hello again. We are back with a video 2, as I did say that we will continue our teaching on the next video. And I did say that we are going to start with types of wrong mother-son relationships. The first one being mama's boy. This is when the mom is making decisions. We've mentioned a whole lot of all these things that the mom does. So mama's boy can never make decisions for himself, and then he finds it incredibly very hard to escape from this pattern of dependence when he is a grown man. And then it is not really healthy for a son to rely on their mom, all their lives for help, If a son still considers his mother to be the main priority in his life before even his partner, the relationship is very unhealthy. This causes the son to feel regret and guilt if he doesn't do what the mom says he must do. And then he resents her for demanding his attention, because the mom literally demands the son's attention. So the son has to love the mom because you love your mom. At the same time, the mom is doing this to you, and then you feel like, God, resentment will always be there. So that's the turmoil that is going on in the life of a narcissistic son who who lives with a narcissistic mother. This is not to say that a son shouldn't be close to their mother, but there's a fine line. There's a fine line to draw on from. As a mother, you need to know that, okay, he can now do this. I'm confident that he can do this, and let go. Step back. Always step back. Always step back. Don't continue what you were doing at age 2. Continue to do it at age 40. That's very unhealthy. Overprotective mother, that's number 2. Overprotective mother has difficulty letting go of their son. And then it is important for the son to have a close relationship with his mother while growing up, to have a secure and development and explore the world, with the help of his mother. But an overprotective mother will never let go of his son to go and explore by himself, because she had groomed the son to believe that they can't do anything right. So the son also is afraid, to launch out by themselves and do things, because they have been conditioned to believe that they can't do things for themselves. If the mom is no longer there, then they will have to have a surrogate mother that would take the place of the mother, that would be doing those things that the mother was doing for them, because they can't do anything. They are used to things being done for them. Number 3 is the spouse substitute. One of the unhealthy mother-son relationship where the mother will replace the relationship she should have with her husband or partner with that of her son. That means in most cases it's emotionally. And it may be that the husband and dad is not living with the family for one reason or the other, or the husband maybe is in drugs and alcohol. They are dysfunctional. They are literally non-existent in the house, or whichever reason it can be. But the mom will push the son, the adult son, into the place of the husband, and the needs that are supposed to only be met by a partner or a husband are going to be expected to be met by the son, by the mom. And that's when it becomes really, really, really odd. And I can tell you, it does happen. And again, in general, narcissistic men are forever trying to win their mother's attention and affection. They learned this earlier in life. So, in the case of the proverbial and toxic mama's boy, the emotional umbilical cord has never been cut. So these people are still tied together whoever comes in, whether is the mother's husband or partner, or whether is the son's wife, they are just going to find that the mom is the son and the son is the mom, and you can't separate them. If you take the son, you are going to take the mom. If you take the mom, you are going to take the son. That creates a lot of problems in both the mom and the son relationships. These type of people, the mom, you may notice that the mom never keeps a man. The husband will leave, even if the husband married her, will leave eventually, because it becomes very unhealthy. And the son who has married, the wife will eventually also leave. That's just, the tragedy of this type of unhealthy narcissistic mother-son relationship. And then the number 4 is enmeshed parent-child relationships. Enmeshed is like, I did touch on it, that the mom is the son is the mom. You can't separate them. There's no individuality. There's huge problems with codependency between the two of them. They rely on each other to fulfill their emotional needs, to make them feel healthy, whole, or just good. Although that sounds fine, they do it to the extreme, and to the psychological health of both parties is to a point where they are put at risk. Their individuality is lost. Number 5, when unhealthy becomes immoral or illegal. Poor boundaries can lead to disastrous ends between a narcissistic mother, and a son. Sometimes the above relationships can become more than just unhealthy, but illegal and immoral. Sexual and emotional incestuous relationships form in this kind of households. Although this is generally rare, the sexual one is a bit rare, they say. It's not that very common, but the emotional incest is very common between a narcissistic mother and their son. And it happens because of lack of boundaries, or boundaries that were never there, boundaries that were broken by the mom deliberately when the child was growing. So the child grew up with no boundaries between them and the mom at all. The mom treated them like an adult, treated them like an equal, treated them like a friend, treated them like whatever. And then that has settled in the son as innermost being, that they see their mom. The mom can turn in 1 minute they are the mom, 1 minute they can be viewed as a girlfriend. That's how twisted these things can be. The men in the life of the mom never survive the relationship due to constant competition with the narcissistic son, put downs from their wife, humiliation, degradation, and being made to feel they don't measure up. So when the partner is still there, the mom's partner that is, or the husband is still there, the mom creates this atmosphere of constant competition and comparison, which is very unhealthy, that she does between her husband and her son, with favor going to the son's side. The son is always the best. The father is put down in the presence of the son. The son gets to a point where he looks down on the father because he knows he's won his mother's favor. He now acts like, I'm the head here, you are nothing, and you don't know a thing, even mom knows. Then over time, the husband, if he stays, then they turn to drugs and alcohol to numb the pain, or they leave. In most cases, they leave when they discover that this is now too much, they can't carry on like this. And likewise, it applies to the wife of the son. The same thing will happen. How to tell if a narcissist is having an incestuous, emotionally incestuous relationship with his mother? How do you tell? How do you see it? If if the mother is a narcissist, she is going to turn this son into a golden son. That means my favorite son. So she may have 5 sons, she may have 3 sons, she may have 2 sons, but she's going to single out that one that is giving her, supposed to be giving her the supply, as the golden son. And then once she does that, she starts to be seductive with him, and it begins in childhood. It's not something that begins when the son is now a man. This would have happened from the beginning of the child's life. So the child grew up with the mom being seductive with them from an early age. And then this is where we now say they form an emotional incest. You know, it is not gone that far as to be sexual, but it is nevertheless perverse. It's perverse because that's not a normal way of relating to a son. That's not a normal way a mother should treat her son. And then the narcissist's biggest fear is that the supply will be cut off. So we've mentioned this. So the fear of the son leaving her is so much so and supersedes everything to a point where she will employ every psychological mechanisms to make him stay, even if it takes flirting with him. If I can flirt with him better than the women out there, he will come home running. He will compare me with all these girls that he meets out there, and they will never measure up. I will always be number 1 for him, and he will come back to me. That's the aim. And unfortunately, in some cases, she wins, and the son will never have a relationship with anybody because the mom has taken everything, like kind of like just overpowered him so much so that he doesn't see, he compares everybody that he meets with the mom, and the mom is always number 1 the way she does things with him. The mother emotionally marries the son, and the son is expected to meet her emotional needs. If she is married, she emasculates her husband and chooses the son to replace him. The relationship with her son may not necessarily be sexual, but it is perverse. And it's not a normal way a mom should really interact with her own son. Narcissist adult, the adult son always goes back to his mother after every failed relationship. This is something that, you know, it happens a lot in life. We see it where the son can never leave home. They try, they go, they come back. They try, they go, they come back, because that umbilical cord, as I said, this umbilical cord that has never been psychologically cut is still there. So whoever they are with, psychologically speaking, it's like a spiritual kind of thing, that the mom's presence will always be there. And that presence, that unseen presence, will disturb every relationship the son would try to have with anyone. And he will always break up and go back to the mom. And every time they break up, he goes back to the mom. These are these older men that are still living with their mom. And they would have numerous failed relationships in their lives. Why? He feels safe there. You know, he always goes back to his mom because he feels safe there. The umbilical cord is still connecting them. That's the safety of the womb. He's still in the womb, literally. People who have narcissistic personality are often unable to give and receive love. That one we know from the previous videos. When he is with his mother, who is narcissistic herself and probably has an enmeshed relationship with him, he feels the closest thing to love. So the twisted love that he has with his mother, it gives him that kind of a feel that this is how love must be. From her house or company, he then attempts to find love out there. while feeling secure and closest to receiving and giving love, even though it's all twisted and not real. He will go out, flirt with girls out there, but he will always come back to the mom because this is the closest I can feel real love. Some people would do this for reasons such as to feel better. They find mom's place as where they can receive the psychological basic human needs of security, love, acceptance, esteem, and respect. Running back to mom gives them a sense of security as well as love and acceptance. And the narcissistic relationship with his mother will continue with all its pain. But he is used to, to it by now, and he grew up with it, so that's all he knows. He's not going to even try and run away or go somewhere else, and because that's all he knows. To him it's normal. To him it's a it's how life should be. So the false unconditional love he gets from his mom is better than being at risk of rejection by someone else out there. Whenever he meets someone, he would fake love. At times he does truly love the person, but is bogged by his constant fear of rejection, feelings of inadequacy with his manhood, to a point where it becomes difficult for him to commit. He risks losing the person he loves for fear of rejection, or of him not being man enough, because this feeling of inadequacy, the mom has drilled in him that you are not good enough, that you don't know anything, that you can't be anything, that you are rubbish, you are all this, those things when he was growing up that were instilled by his mom, they live in him, they live with him even when he's a man. So when he meets a woman, those things, they come back to say, who do you think you are? You are not like so and so. You can't take care of a woman. You don't know how to be a husband. You don't know how men treat wives. So they will always sabotage their own relationships and go back to their moms, because that's the safest place that they feel. The mom has um, taught this man, the son, to breadcrumb, because she herself has been breadcrumbing her own love. So one minute she's affectionate and loving, one minute she is angry with him and belittling and degrading. And then the son goes on to do the same with his own relationships. One minute it's up and down. The spouse can never know where they stand. One minute they are doing well, they are okay, or it's goody goody go lucky. Then the next minute they are rubbished, they are put down, they are criticized harshly, and it's a seesaw kind of life, and that type of a relationship will never last. And then that's when the spouses will always leave them because of that, because it causes confusion, it causes disillusionment in a relationship. And even if he treats the spouse maybe in a loving manner, it's all fake, because he doesn't really truly know how to love, because he was never loved himself. You can't give something that you don't have. You can only give what you have. They are void of love. They are void of empathy. So it's difficult for them because they didn't get it as children from their caregivers. So it's difficult for them now to give something that they don't have. They copy people, they mimic, and they mirror other people. They look at men, how they interact with women, then they try it on women when they're with women. But then it won't last, because it's something that is not coming from within them. It's something that they copied from somebody else. And that's why their relationships always fail, because it's never genuine, it's never authentic. So they have this push-pull kind of a type of a relationship. They love one minute they don't. They pull you in by treating you nicer, giving you gifts, maybe doing whatever you like. And then when you come now full blown, the girl has let her guard down. She has opened fully now. Her heart is open. Then the narcissist is afraid. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know how to go about this. And then he pushes the woman away. And then the woman gets hurt. She gets disillusioned when it happens over time, many times. Then eventually she says, no, This is not normal. I've never had anything like this, or nobody is experiencing this. And then they leave. Then the narcissist will never have a steady relationship. Even if they went on to marry, it will always end up in a problematic. So the narcissists exist as people on a never-ending quest to find the person who has the ability to love them and make them feel loved for more than just a short period of time. Hence, multiple relationships, which we see as promiscuity. They are known to be promiscuous, they are known to be players. But the reason they are like that is because they are looking for love that they can never get, because they can't feel it, they can't receive it, and they can't give it. So it's just something that is in them because of this personality. What to do when you realize that things are not looking normal any longer? This is for sons that are affected by their narcissistic mothers, because we don't just teach about these things and leave you there. We try and give you solutions if you were looking for solutions. First, admit there's a problem. All is not lost, just because you grew up in that kind of an environment. All is not lost. The problems caused by unhealthy mother-son relationships can be healed. The first step is admitting there's a problem and dealing with these problems by speaking to a therapist. There are specialist therapists that have specialized in personality disorders, and they can help you navigate out of the trauma that you experienced under the hand of a narcissistic mother. There are other ways to get the same sort of help if they don't feel comfortable attending therapy, by joining an online forum or something similar. And issues may still arise because a relationship has two halves. And if one is not prepared to work at a solution, nothing will happen. So both parties have to seek help, not only one. Because when there's a problem in the relationship, it may be, yes, the narcissist, but when therapy is sought, then both people should go for therapy. Number two, set boundaries. There's nothing a narcissist hates more than being stood up. Until you start setting some healthy boundaries, they will continue to control your life, even if it's your mom. When the adult child feels suffocated or controlled by their mother, it is very clear that boundaries that were in place were violated, and in most cases by the mom. Some of the ways to strengthen your boundaries as an adult child: change locks if you can. I mean, if it comes to a push, you just change locks and send a strong message to the mom and say, I love you, but I'm not going to allow this. Don't answer the phone if there are multiple calls. These moms who demand that their adult son calls them everywhere they are, every minute, at the time that they wish, she wishes. You don't answer the phone. You don't respond immediately. That's setting boundaries. Go no contact if it comes to a push. If it comes to that place where it really is becoming perverse, and you can see the signs, just go no contact. And then leave, maybe if you are strong enough to leave. Okay, now let me tell you this. If you are going to be setting boundaries like that with a narcissistic mom, she's not going to like it. You are going to get a backlash. You are going to, get into trouble with her like before. You need to be prepared. Boundaries to them means that they have lost a piece of their much needed control over you. They will push back, and you got to be steady and stand firm. You can turn lovingly to your mother and say, I'm sorry this upsets you. I care about you, but these are my needs, and it is important that you take them to heart. Or, I have laid out my needs and I don't plan on discussing anything further with you. Be ready with how to positively and firmly answer her when she exerts her control and manipulation again over you, because she's going to try, she's going to strengthen, the manipulation and the control. When she tries to imply you are incapable of managing in any given situation and offering to do it for you, you just say, thanks, mom, but I can manage. When she tries to give unsolicited opinion, this is a hallmark of a narcissist. They are in their heads, they believe they are the cleverest people. They believe they are intelligent, they are smart, they can tell everybody what to do. So they go around giving unsolicited opinions, though the mom would have been doing that with you. So when she comes with her unsolicited opinion, you say, that may be your opinion, but I don't have to agree with it, and just walk away. When she rubbishes your decision, you say, that's my decision, and I'm not prepared to discuss it with you. By closing the conversation down, you deny the narcissistic mother the chance to gain control of the situation. And lastly, walk away if you can. That means you are now going no contact if it comes to a push and you are strong enough to say, I can face life by myself. I don't need my mom to control my life any longer. If all else fails, then leave the room or just leave her, leave the house and forever or for some time, just sending the message to her to say, I mean what I say. My boundaries are there to stay. There's no point in arguing with a narcissist. They will never see your point of view and will always insist on being right. However, if the situation has become so toxic that your mental and physical health is suffering because of it, you may want to ask yourself, is it worth having them in your life any longer? And this brings us to the end of our teaching today. So I hope, yes, it's been a bit long, but I feel like I haven't actually even touched everything. I just took out the main things, main points. But I think knowledge is power. And, when we are well informed, then we can avoid a whole lot of things that if we didn't have that knowledge before or that information before, we would have gotten into. So I'm doing this to help people out there because, this is just type of personalities that are abusive and they are very subtle and they do it in such a way that a normal, ordinary person will not see. So until next time, bye. And don't forget to go to my website, sarahmoloi.org, and check out, my book is still there. A Journey of 1,000 Miles Begins with One Step. Is there. You can purchase it from there or Amazon, or you can give us, a call or an email, and give us feedback as to how we're doing and how this is benefiting you, because we are doing it for the benefits of humanity, so people will know. And also, I want you to know, in closing, that a narcissist, in as much bad as they may seem to be, they are bad. I have to tell you, they are bad, because when they are bad, and they can be bad. But at the same time, this is a human being. At the same time, this is a person that has been created by God. At the same time, this is a person that did not have a choice as to who brought them up, because as we know that their personality was formed in childhood. They were not born with it. It was formed during childhood by the caregiver that was there for them. So they didn't choose that. It just happened. So we do these things with empathy over them. We don't do it with hatred, because they just don't know any better. They harm people. They do. And sometimes they are very vindictive. And not sometimes, most of the time, they are very vindictive. And they can harm people deliberately, and they can sabotage things. They can do, because only because they have this void inside of them. They are so extremely unhappy. They are hurting. They have this, unfulfilled needs. They are struggling with who they are. They live a false life. They have to be somebody else out there and be their authentic self in the house. And they damaged everybody that came their way. This is not a nice thing to feel good about. So we know where they are coming from, and that gives us this opportunity now to regard them with empathy, to regard them with the love of God, because we can't love them properly. Normally we are going to have to need the love of God to sympathize with them and empathize with them, knowing that they were damaged in childhood. Unfortunately, it wasn't something that they chose. So I'm just saying this, so when we come across these people or we are experiencing these things, we have that inside of us as well, to say we do know where this is coming from, and we sympathize with you. So until next time, for now, goodbye, and please do check out my book and support the ministry that we are trying to do here, helping people and giving out free information that you would have to pay for a course to have. You would have to pay for this in most cases, but we are giving it free. So goodbye, and see you next time with the next video.